Hi, I'm Bran, and I can say that I love TV One Christmas movies.
I'm Dan. I guess I despise TV One Christmas movies.
I'm Alonzo, and TV One is a singular sensation, and this
is the Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host this podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Wow, 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 wow.
Boy.
Wow, wow, wow. TV One.
What
TV
a day.
One. Christmas with my ex. I gotta say, I believe, if my calculations are correct, literally the only place you can find this is on Philo.
It's on Philo, which we say all the time. It's your holiday movie hub.
That's
but
exactly right.
In this case, literally the only place you would be able to watch
only
this.
place. The only place.
Philo.tv/DTH.
Yes.
And what better way? Today's Memorial Day. I mean, Memorial Day.
Yes.
Fire up the grill. Christmas with my ex on.
Yep.
There's a barbecue going on in that movie, too.
Yep.
So, I mean,
little Christmas Day barbecue.
Thematic.
and you can only watch your show at Philo, so really it's kind of like you guys are cousins.
That's right. So very similar. We may show up at the dinner.
Maybe next
You
year.
never know.
Maybe next year we'll show up. Who can
That's
say?
right.
Christmas with my
Overhear
ex,
something.
part 2, the podcast.
That's right.
I don't know how it all play out, but we can dream. We can dream. Alonzo, how are you, buddy?
It was a hit.
It was a hat.
I'm good. I am having crazy seasonal allergies because it rained a little here in Southern California, so everything is blooming, and the seed pods are out, and like my head is exploding.
Have you heard of lollies? Because we could send you some lollies. We got some. Do you know about the lollies?
I've heard tell of such things. So yeah, I've been trying. It's been a while since I've dealt with this at all. So I'm sort of like experimenting with which are the ones to take at night and what's good in the morning. Like trying to balance out my whole chemical makeup here to make my life work. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're watching on Philo, you can see Alonzo did get a fresh cut though.
Oh,
the
my
haircut's
gosh.
looking right.
It's phenomenal.
Thank you very much.
Phenomenal, I must say. I don't want to wait anymore. I want to get straight to Christmas with my ex. Christmas with my ex.
You don't want to wait for our lives to be.
No. I don't want to wait.
I want to know right now.
I want to know right now. Christmas with my ex originally premiered on TV One on December 4th, 2022, and it went a little something like this. All right, bear with me. There's 3 friends.
This is it. I got my popcorn.
Guys, get out the org chart, okay? There's 3 friends, and they are all together. It's Christmas time. They say it is, at least. And it's similar to, like, the Love Club, we've been talking. We're going to talk a lot about the Love Club this week.
Yes, we have.
This is like a prequel to the
going
Love
to.
Club.
Yes,
they're all complaining about their exes. They're doing like a little girlfriend's Christmas thing, and it's Shauna, Kenya, and Leah. They're all best friends. They love each other, and they love complaining about their exes. So best I can figure, Shauna, they're all going to go over to Shauna's house for Christmas. And this is at the request of Kenya's dad.
Yes.
He set it all up, and yes, and everyone's coming, including everyone's exes. There's a reason for all of the exes to
Correct.
come.
There is.
Yes, kids.
One of them married a sister.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like lots of things, I guess. Anywho. So Shauna and Kenya think that Leah is all dressed up to make her ex like her again, and she's like, no way. Leah, her ex is Jaden, and his new wife Grace is there, and so is their daughter. And
It's Leah and Jaden's daughter.
Yes, Leah and Jaden's daughter.
no,
Yes. So they share a daughter. And she's going to open up presents just from Jaden. And and so that's happening. Kenya's sister, Alicia, comes, and she's pregnant with baby. And she is pregnant because she is married to Kenya's ex-husband. That's
Named?
right. I got it somewhere. Mark?
I think it is Mark.
Yes, Mark.
Yeah.
So Kenya and Alice, they're sisters. Kenya got a divorce, and Alice married Kenya's ex-husband.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Alicia tries to patch things up with Kenya. Kenya's not having it, and I don't know why. Then Jesse shows up. We know him. We love him.
He's a friend.
Jesse is Mark's brother, and he does not seem thrilled that Jesse is there. Why would he not be happy that his brother's there?
Just got back from
More
Iraq,
on
correct?
that. Yes, he was in the army. He was in army. More on that to come. So Jaden and Leah, they get in an argument because he wants to take their daughter to a homeless shelter to visit her friend. So Jesse starts putting the moves on hard on Kenya.
That's right.
Mark's brother is putting a move on Mark's ex-wife, and Mark is married to Kenya's sister. Is everyone keeping track here?
Kenya's dad is there too,
Yes.
and we believe him to be terminally ill.
That's exactly right. He
Okay.
has cancer, and he makes a joke about it. Big fun. If you're not joking about your cancer, what are you doing? So Mark goes and tells Kenya to stay away from Jesse. And she's like, I'm sorry, what? Like, you don't get to tell me you're with my sister. You can't tell me not to be with your brother. But he's like, he's dangerous. They're doing a dance party.
They all go out to dance.
In the pergola, the gazebo there.
Candy cane columns.
Candy cane columns. That's about as Christmassy as this party gets. And Leah grabs Jaden and is like, let's dance. And she starts grinding on him hard. And he's like, okay, I'm out. So they go to talk about how happy he is with Grace and how Grace challenges him to be a better man and all this stuff. And Leah is like, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to kiss you now. And he's like, hard pass. Did you miss everything I said? I'm happy. I'm growing as a person. And she's like, nonsense. And then Kenya and Jesse starts dancing, maybe a foot away from Mark and Alicia. So Shauna's ex, Demetrius, shows up.
There's been a lot of talk about Demetrius.
So Shauna's ex, Demetrius, finally shows up.
Why is he there, Brand?
She is happy.
Why is Demetrius
Well, because
there?
they also share...
Have a son together.
Have a son
That's
together,
right, yes.
So she's significantly happier to see her ex than any of the other women are. And you're like, what's up with that? And she's like, hey, where's your fiance? I can't wait to meet him. And his fiance shows up, and his fiance is not
It is
a guy.
a her.
It's a her. Shauna's shocked because she was under the impression that they got a divorce because Demetrius was gay. So the meal is happening now. It's time to eat food, and it comes out that Kenya, while Kenya and Mark were dating, he and Alicia, this is back in high school, he and Alicia were already into each other. They were kind of making the moves on each other at a high school party, and Alicia is like, hey, it's not, we never crossed that line there. And she's like, well, Alicia, you were my divorce attorney and you were into Mark. You don't think maybe that's a problem? Then Jesse speaks up and is like, hey, everybody settle down. And Mark is like, hey, Jesse, you murdered our parents. You shut up.
That's exactly what happened.
And so
it was a hit.
Auntie is there and it's like, everybody calm down. I brought Cobbler.
For all the money in the world, who's auntie?
Cobbler. Whose aunt is it? Everyone.
It's Shauna's auntie.
Then
All
Shauna.
Shantae.
Yeah. Then Shauna asks if his new girl knows that he's gay.
In front of everyone.
Right in front of her and God and everyone. So there's that. Mark and Alicia go to argue, and he says he didn't want the baby to begin with and isn't sure if he wants her now. Then Leah and Jaden are arguing because it turns out Jaden and Grace are trying to have a baby. Leah brings up the kiss and is like, well, if you wanted a baby, you shouldn't have kissed me. Right as Grace is walking up, she's not
dirty.
happy. Leah is the worst. So Shauna and Demetrius are talking in the alley by the house. You know the one. And he's talking about how he hasn't been with a man since they got a divorce and is most definitely into women, specifically this woman that he is engaged to. And she is like, you were the love of my life. This hurts. Naturally,
She says that.
Blake is standing at the end of the alley, as you do, listening to all of this. He gets upset because he's like, I thought I was the love of your
Blake
life.
is her current
Husband.
That's
Yes,
right.
Exactly right. We've talked a ton about him.
We've said Blake's name
one,
for sure before.
One
now.
heck of a
Yes.
turtleneck.
Yeah.
So they talk, and he almost breaks things off there, but it's all good. Nothing a little can't handle. So Leah and Jaden's daughter has a friend from the homeless shelter. You've heard about her. You love her. They end up showing up. Leah immediately hits on her dad. That's the only way I can read that conversation.
What about the dad? What about Kenya's dad?
Kenya's dad, he's good.
He's been in remission for a year.
He kind of held this from Kenya so that the party would happen. Even though, best I can figure, everyone else knew. I don't know why withholding this from just Kenya was the only way to get this party to happen, but it did. Leah and Grace hash things out, and Grace is like, she's so kind to her, doesn't push her in the pool or anything. I'm a bit bummed about that, to be honest with you. And all the women end up just hanging, the three women hang out at the end, and they talk about how great this Christmas was.
Jesse and the mistletoe.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, everybody. Jesse, the guy who killed Mark's parents, his parents as well. It was a hit.
It was a hit.
He meets the alley. You guys remember the alley? He takes Kenya out to the alley, pulls up the mistletoe. They kiss. All the women then go hang out, talk about what a Christmas. Maybe next year will be better. And that, my friends, was Christmas with my ex.
We did it, and that was almost an entire. No, there were no bits there. That was all plot, all the time.
Plot, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go take a shower, and I'm gonna come back.
We need a break.
And we're gonna talk about this movie here on Deck the Hallmark.
Take the Hallmark.
Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about TV One's Christmas with My Ex. Currently, I think a Philo exclusive. Let's talk about it. This is the fun of the Monday episodes. We're trying to hit as many different networks and streamers as possible, and you never quite know what you're going to get. I didn't even know TV One existed. Now I do. Christmas with My Ex. Let's talk about it. Alonzo.
The moment we've been waiting for.
Dying to hear this. What'd you think about Christmas with My Ex?
Wow. Okay. So I will say this. Of the stuck in a house for the entire movie, Christmas movies that we have watched on this show, and we have seen several at this point, I will say this is the best of those.
Okay.
It's better than Christmas in Carolina.
Yep.
It's better than The Twins and the Twins. Whatever that movie was called.
Switching Christmas or something.
Something, you know. I enjoyed all of the ongoing awkwardness because this movie just keeps serving it up. Like just one uncomfortable situation after another. Like you could have made this into a really dark comedy, you know, like this is my kind. My jam is the sort of dysfunctional Christmas dark comedy. But this is played straight through as drama, but to such an extent where it kind of becomes a comedy by accident at times. This is the worst Christmas ever. Like everyone is just like being put through the mill. And I think that Tyler Perry has a lot to answer for in terms of how characters are presented as like all good or all bad and other things like that. But this is not one I'll forget anytime soon.
Never.
Yeah.
This movie's amazing. Dan and I, we watched it together, and we watch a lot of things.
We
together.
watch a lot of
We watch
movies
a lot
together.
of movies together. We watch some sports together. We get together. We watch March Madness, and we yell a lot.
We do.
This was the loudest you and I have ever gotten watching anything.
Yep.
We were yelling. We were cheering. We
yeah.
were booing. We were into it.
We were.
We were into it. This movie is never without something insane happening on screen. And it almost feels like they keep one-upping. It's like you thought that was something. Here's something. There's so much here. I don't even actually think we get resolution to most of it. It is all a lot, and it is all a blast. I thoroughly enjoyed myself with this movie. Dano?
This is the best iteration of August Osage County I've ever seen. No, listen, this movie is bonkers new. Just complete, like, there are enough plot lines in this movie for an entire countdown to Christmas season. Okay? Yeah. Like, it is, and I know it's probably not meant to be funny, but at some point, as Alonzo already alluded to, it becomes must-see television to see what is going to be said and how it's going to be said next. I like it, just one after the other. There was one of these storylines you'd be like, that was crazy. Remember when that happened? There's a dozen of them here. A dozen crazy storylines happening all at once in a one-act play for the ages. I can't say it's good, but I can't say that of the movies to not watch again, this would not, I would gladly watch this again over many, many others. So, yeah, take that for what it's worth. Say what? Oh, yes. Yes. Brand's love of the unicorn Christmas movie, still why we're not friends anymore. I'm sorry. Maybe one day, buddy.
It was a hit.
It was a hit.
Let's,
one brother accuses another, and nothing got enough time in your synopsis because we had to get to everything. But just so we're clear, at the dinner table, amongst other things, accusations that are thrown around, one brother, even though their parents were killed by people on a drive-by, one brother accuses the other brother, because of his actions as a criminal, of being the one that actually pulled the trigger. And he basically says that he ordered a hit on their own parents. This is just dinner conversation. That's where we are with this movie.
It was a hit.
It was a hit.
It was a hit.
Oh man.
This movie's a hit. I'll say that much. Let's get to the feels. I imagine this is not your traditional Christmas feels. Alonzo, what gave you feels in this one?
Yeah, this movie is more like the popcorn meme feels, where you're just like, what next? Where is this all going? Somebody says "kick rocks" in the first scene, which made me think of y'all.
Mine. So "Kick rocks" is in there. We did it.
That gave me a warm feeling. Heavy pours feels.
Yeah.
These ladies put away some vino over the course of this movie.
The wine. There's a time in the middle of this movie, about 40 minutes in the middle, where Shauna's wine glass is always at the brim. So it's not that she's not drinking it; it's that it's always a full pour.
Together when Dimitri is telling her that his fiance is a woman, and she's just like glug 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 glug, it's Cougar Town.
Yes,
she's just filling that baby
and
up.
it stays that way for the rest of the movie, pretty much.
All right. So early in this movie, we get the joy of seeing Blake with his shirt off and just a towel. And we see Blake, and Dan and I are like, that's a specimen.
Yeah, that dude's ripped.
What a guy. What a guy.
Yeah.
About 15 minutes-ish later, we meet a fella named Jesse.
Yeah.
Who comes straight from Army. And Jesse walks in with the biggest muscles I've ever seen. I don't know how his sleeves aren't. I don't really understand what's happening here. And for the rest of the movie, all I kept thinking is I can't believe we got excited about Blake. He makes Blake look like a little baby boy, like just a toddler. And that was my feels. It's not often, I don't think ever in one of these movies I've seen a guy and been like, yeah, you attaboy. And then by the end of the movie, I'm like, do better.
Small potatoes over
do
there.
better. I could be you. So that was a wild turn of events for sure.
I have a sports question.
Sure.
Because I thought it was interesting that Jaden, who is the pro football player, was kind of the smallest of the dudes. And then I thought, well, maybe he's like a quarterback
running backs typically are under 6 feet tall. Like they're not as nearly as big.
So it's not implausible that he would be the shrimp.
Yeah, you could be 5'10",
Okay.
11, be a wide receiver or running back. I mean, both of those are probable. I mean, there's one like Russell Wilson's pretty small. He's a quarterback, but most quarterbacks are 6'3", 6'4". But yeah, that's fair. More than fair.
There's some towering beefcake. You are correct.
Boy,
I saw Towering Beefcake live.
amazing,
Unbelievable,
amazing.
And a horseradish fountain.
Do you have anything, or was it just a kick rock? Sorry, let's take a quick break. We'll come back with the wait what and the what did I write down? TV one question for you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There we go.
Here on Deck the Hallmark. Welcome back, everybody. We're talking about Christmas with My Ex, TV One classic. Let's get to the wait what, where we talk about what in this movie made us go wait what. Alonzo.
Well, my first one was going to be the 63 seconds reference, but then the movie calls it out.
Yes.
So, they own that one. I don't want to get too technical here, but are y'all familiar with the term blocking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, where people are standing in a way that it would appear that it feels organic to a conversation, but also like gives the audience something to take in. There are so many scenes in this movie where everybody just stands in a row and has a conversation. And I'm like, oh my God, please, could somebody move 2 steps forward or 2 steps back, something. But no, it's just like, it's one sort of chorus line after another, just like,
just
we're all
a
gonna
company
stand here and
my company front for this Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are we all clear that this movie is set in Los Angeles? Because there really aren't quite enough establishing shots.
I thought it was Florida,
A lot. I did they say Florida?
but I don't
know. It's LA or Florida. It's a hot climate place with palm trees.
Yeah, just there were so many shots of palm trees. I assumed it was Los Angeles, but it was the kind of thing where like we're in the house and then there's an establishing shot and then we're still in the house.
Right.
Like that's a Tommy Wiseau move, you know.
Yes.
Um,
And it's the same establishing shot.
Basically, yes. Did I miss something here? Kenya and her sister reconcile because the dude is just so terrible, and they both realize that now. Was that it, the
I
magic
think
thing to fix
Kenya
their
hears
relationship?
Kenya.
Kenya overhears him, Mark. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was the thing. And then she talks to her dad, where her dad's like, I just wanted you guys to reconcile. I think those two things work together, I think.
You guys, there's impossible for you to reconcile if both of you know I'm in remission.
That's right. Yeah. It's the longer you could think I could die at any second, that gave me the best chance.
I can emotionally blackmail you into attending this function
right.
with your sister,
course.
whom you despise, but now you don't despise because she's being treated as badly by your ex as you were, and so now you have that in common, I guess. I don't know. The word bisexual is never uttered.
Never
in this
once.
movie.
Not once.
Not once. It's like, look, Demetrius left Shauna for a dude, but that doesn't, like lock him in for life. I do get her thing of like, it's one thing to leave me for a man and then like have the men for the rest of your life, but to then like marry another woman, like now that puts the burden of failure on me. So like that was actually well handled and it, none of this like got homophobic, which I appreciate. Demetrius is not like treated as a goofus or whatever for having had things with dudes, but yeah, the word bisexual, they could have
thrown that out there. I think
because he never even said like he
almost like he refuses to acknowledge.
It almost feels as if he's like I'm back to liking just women.
Yes,
that's how you end up
that
feeling.
One dude once, but we're not going to count it.
Yeah,
it
was a one and done. He says I haven't been with a man since.
Yeah.
So one time, one and done.
I guess for some people it is a phase. I don't know, but anyway, that's it. That's what I got. This, otherwise airtime.
Aside from everything in this movie, I do have a few. The music in this movie is insane. It's insane. The volume is insane. The piano,
yeah.
it almost there's a couple scenes where the piano is so loud that I feel bad. I feel like I'm eavesdropping into the conversation. I'm like, should I not be here? Like, I feel like you've turned music on so that I won't be able to fully hear the conversation. It's so loud. There's another song that plays at one point where it just sounds like they're playing a piano and just like kind of chucking stuff at a drum set, like just kind of hearing like weird percussion, like boom, 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 and it's super weird, but also kind of perfect for this movie. The line is said, "Santa's fresh out of miracles today,"
classic.
which I didn't know Santa was in the business of miracles.
Jesus does the miracles. Santa does the gift giving.
He's fresh out of miracles today. That's Santa. Fair.
Daniel, you mean Brandon? He's the Christmas movie
you're right.
guy.
Santa's he's fresh out of them. He doesn't have it. He's out. Everyone knows he has 34 miracles and then once he uses them all, he's out.
He's out.
The music thing. Did you notice when they're first jamming out to Deck the Halls?
Yes.
Which, of course, who can't hit the dance floor for that one? Did you notice that the lyrics mention something about the summer?
No.
I always have the titles on. In the middle of that song, they're talking about the blah blah in the summer thing. And wait, what is this? Is this an Australian?
Is this a Christmas in July movie?
Yeah, I like. Was the movie set in Chile the whole time? Like, I'm baffled. But anyway, go back and look. It's in there.
I have down. I think this is the first time I can remember not having cancer as being the twist. Typically, it's like I have got news. I have cancer. In this case, it's the opposite. Hey, you know the whole thing that you thought I had?
Gotcha.
I had in a year.
Gotcha.
And why does everyone else know except for Kenya? It is cruel and unusual punishment.
How is no one upset at Dad?
No one's
all
mad
the people
at him.
that are upset at other people in this movie, no one's upset at the dad for pulling all the strings to make this the worst Christmas ever. How?
On game, the only way to get these two women under the same roof was to play the cancer card. And if that meant lying about being in remission, his family comes first.
100%. Mark, for the first hour and change, I'm like, this guy, he's going to be a nothing burger in this movie. He barely says anything. And then all of a sudden, there are murder accusations. I don't want the baby and I don't want you.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
Mark is just like, what happened? Out of nowhere, Mark. You can't go from just being like, my brother's here, man, to like, hey, I don't want the baby and I don't want you.
And you murdered our parents.
And you murdered our parents. It was a hit.
It was a hit.
Zero to the monster is exactly right. At the end of this movie, there are Leah is talking to the this is how they describe her. Sorry, the homeless girl's dad.
Good gosh.
And they have a doll that both her and Leah's daughter have dolls, and they're like, we're gonna have to pry those dolls out of her hands tonight. No, you don't.
Let
like,
the kids sleep
just
with
let
the
them sleep with
doll.
dolls. Isn't that kind of the thing? It's like a stuffed animal. Like, you can't do that. Pry it out of their hands. It's weird.
Yeah.
And also that other girl is double the age, but that's neither here nor there. Dan, that girl's like 16.
The unhoused hate is real in this movie.
So strong.
Like, one person's like, I volunteer at the homeless shelter, and the response to that is anything from ugh to nothing. Those are the only responses you get. It's brutal.
Responding, I think we're meant to know that.
That's true. That's true. But everyone else just stays quiet on the issue. So there's that. I do want to point out that at the end of this movie, they all clink their glasses and talk about what a great Christmas it is. He left it out of the synopsis. That happens in this movie. They're like, well, here's to another year. That's the worst Christmas I've ever seen. It's the worst one I've ever seen. And they're like, wasn't that a hoot? It was a hoot and a holler. Cheers, everybody. Yeah, it was. Wardrobe decided to just fall asleep at the wheel when it came to Jesse's character. How do we remind people is in the army? army adjacent colors, first of all. Give him some army adjacent colors. Let him wear dog tags as an accessory. And on the outside and make them blank. So this is a guy who served our country valiantly in Iraq, gets home and says, I want clothes that look like the colors of camouflage, and I want to buy a fake pair of dog tags that are blank and wear them around all the time. That's a move.
Does the shirt need to fit? No.
No, not on my sleeves. Good
Tighter.
luck.
Good luck. That guy can't find a shirt.
Yeah. That's right. I wrote down, and I stand by this. No one should be here. No one. This is Shauna and Kenya aren't related. Everyone hates each other. Everyone. Look, mental health is important. Distancing yourselves or giving yourself a break from people that you have conflict with is a good thing. All of these people aren't related to each other. Most of them aren't related to each other. And they all decided together collectively to go, yes, let's all go to a Christmas day where the flowers are in bloom and the swimming pool's out. Christmas day where we all get together and see if we can hang. See if we can just do this thing. No, and because Dad is lying to Kenya about having cancer.
So we all have to
look, no one should be here. Everyone should take responsibility. Every adult, the kid shouldn't. Every adult should take responsibility for their actions here. You should have said no to this dinner invite. You should have said no.
It does take way too long for them to tell the little girl to get lost from the table. Like, there's too much going on. Go eat inside.
No kidding.
And you could make it a plot point that, like, you know what? We're all dreading this Christmas.
That's right.
We're going to do this together to have each other's back, to support each other.
Didn't do it.
But, everybody gets so lost in their own stuff that, like, no one's supporting anybody.
Yeah, two more. One, the unhoused gentleman and his daughter that show up. We hear his story. And in his story, he says, we lived in a gated community. The kids went to private school. We were 38 years old, thought we had more time for things like savings accounts. Listen, I'm not, a lot could go wrong. A lot could go wrong in life that you should have a savings account before you're 38. That is not, it does not take good credit. It does not take any money. Savings accounts are not for 40-year-olds. Savings accounts are for everyone.
All right, Dave Ramsey.
I thought it was a really bad line of dialogue to be like, we thought we had time for savings accounts. It's not retirement. It's a savings account. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Just saying. And then lastly, and this one is the biggest one, we rewound it 10 times. I would say over under 10 times did we rewind it. Alicia, Kenya's sister, pregnant, married to Mark, used to be Kenya's husband. In the scene where Mark gets mad at her and they fight, Alicia breaks down crying, and then she says, I'm lonely. But she doesn't say I'm lonely. She sings I'm lonely. She literally says, I'm lonely. That's what she says.
I'm lonely.
She sings it. It is the biggest dramatic moment of the film, and she sings her line. There is no music behind her. She is singing I'm lonely. That is what's happening here. It's fantastic, and I loved every second of it.
Someone should make it into a song.
Yeah.
Someone should make it into a song. It'd be a hit.
It'd be a hit.
I'm lonely. It's time for TV. One more question. It's where we get to talk about anything that we'd still like answered. Alonzo.
So, Universal here in Los Angeles, every Halloween, and I guess maybe the one in Florida does it too, they do these mazes that are themed to different horror movies.
Halloween Horror Nights.
Halloween Horror Nights, exactly. So you go through the maze and, like, Freddy Krueger jumps out, whatever. I've never been to one. I am a coward. I would propose that there would be a great Christmas maze themed to Christmas with My Ex, where basically you go through a house and every time you turn a corner, you overhear a really awkward piece of conversation that is damaging to you personally. Because that is constantly happening in this movie. The wrong person overhears the wrong sentence at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And so I think there should be a whole maze of this where you just gotta keep walking into awkward situations and are like, oh my God, that's terrible.
Yeah, over
I'm
and
so
over
hurt
again.
now.
Producer Aaron's like, this is my nightmare.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah. I would love that they were like, how do we get them to find out this? Maybe they walk by. Why do we get them to find out this? Maybe they also walk by. How do we get them to
There
find
is
this?
more like accidental overhearing than in like the entire run of Downton Abbey.
Maybe they walk by.
They
It's a
walk
small
by.
house. They could walk by again.
How many places would you need to look in your house before you think maybe my wife is in the alley? Maybe I'll walk by. Oh man,
She's not in the pergola.
on the pergola. Mine is the Mark and Jesse's parents are dead. There is still a disagreement over what happened. We do not get any clarification on this. No clarity, no nothing. Was it a hit? Was it just a coinky dink? Was it just a random drive-by? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I personally have no reason to believe that Jesse is lying, but Mark clearly does. Mark thinks
it was a hit.
Thinks it was a hit. It was a hit.
Say that the movie is pretty much telling us at every corner that Mark is wrong about everything.
That's right. Correct.
Because he is the one character, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, because Leah gets a little bit of redemption.
She says she was sorry for everything.
So
'cause she's the monster for most of the movie.
Mark's
and then-
Mark's the worst guy.
Yes.
Ends up being the worst, right?
Correct.
There's nothing redeeming about Mark. I think Mark's last scene is, I don't think I want the baby, and I don't think I want you, which is a tough scene to go out on. So,
Imagine that in the haunted house.
But I got to be honest, another great Christmas. Am I right?
Another one. Cling. Cheers, everybody.
Dan?
Till next year. I have one question.
I'm
one question.
lonely.
One question only. Yeah. How long are they dancing out there? How long are they dancing out there? Because I believe 3 separate couplets branch off and go in and have a conversation, an argument, a big reveal, and come out, and they're still dancing out there. Like one song has been playing for the last, one of those conversations takes 45 minutes. Like, are they just out there, just like stuck in limbo until it's your turn to go argue? Like, cause they're all just like, yeah, oh, it's my turn to go argue. Okay, I'm coming. One, that's right. Weird. And I want to know how long that we're supposed to believe that they're dancing. It's not one song. I can promise you that. That's all I got.
Let me ask the room this. What was the most shocking development in this movie? What was the one thing that was like, wow.
Well, I didn't know that I must have missed that he had left, that Demetrius had left Shauna because he was gay. Because when she said that line at the dinner table, I was like, but no, Mark saying that Jesse killed his parents has to be one.
Yeah. That's right up there. I caught the Demetrius thing because she has the scene with the son, the Morehouse man, earlier, and refers to the fiance as him, and so I was like, oh, okay.
I did go use the restroom once, so maybe I missed that entirely because I don't remember that scene. I don't remember her talking to him. So
I think.
How could you tear yourself away?
That's right. That's
I
tough.
think Leah. Probably. I think Leah kissing him was shocking.
No, the dancing.
The dancing scene.
We were like, when that scene started happening, we were like, I can't believe
Like
this.
his
And
new
then
wife
when the dance,
and your daughter's right there.
yeah, and the dance progressed to a level that was like unbelievable. Like she dips down completely out of frame.
Low.
Low, yeah. Shorty got low. Like it was like it is. And the daughter is watching from 10 feet away. The current wife is watching from 10 feet
I'm
away.
lonely.
That was brutal.
I think the dinner really,
Oh.
it's just one
Haymakers.
bomb after another at that table.
Whoever
was
wrote
tough.
this movie, a masterpiece. Well done.
Yeah,
well
a lot
done.
going on.
Just you did it. It did. I will say, it took me like the first 10 minutes. I'm trying to like who's who and who's connected and whatnot. But once you get it all sorted out, it's a masterpiece. Masterpiece.
Brand did have to pause it 8 times.
And I'm just like, just so I get this right. So Kenya, because everyone has somebody else and has an ex, and that
Correct.
ex has somebody. There's lots of moving parts.
Correct.
But I think this movie diagrams that out far more cogently than so many other movies
Yeah.
we've seen, where you're like, I still don't know who these people are and why they're related to each other.
I mean,
you
heck,
know?
this movie I felt like did a better job with all the relationships than the hotel movie we just watched.
Yes, agreed.
Yes. Good example.
Yeah, hear me out. Leah and Mark get together and they have Christmas at their house next year.
Try and stop me. Try and stop me. Next week, everybody, we're heading over to the Lifetime Movie Network, different than the
LMN.
Lifetime channel, for It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder.
Ooh.
It's beginning to look a lot like murder.
Oh my.
I believe that this is only available for rent or purchase. I don't think it's streaming anywhere. But keep poking around. This movie is not on Just Watch, so there's not like a central database for me to poke around. But I, at the very least, found it on Vudu. But if you Google it and click on Prime, it's a different movie, and it's not the one we're doing. So at the very least, it's on
This is
Vudu.
2022's.
2022, it's beginning
Got
to
it.
look a lot like murder. That's exactly
Those of
right.
you scoring along at home.
Yes. For everybody who has gone on this now 5-month journey with us and has watched every single one of these movies,
Yeah, God bless you.
God bless you.
Seriously.
What a legends. Alonzo, love you, buddy. Can't wait to do this again next week. Until tomorrow, maybe we'll be the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.